As a kid, I used to get dragged around National Trust houses, kicking and screaming sometimes, but little did I know that as an adult they would be such inspiration to me. So it's just been a personal dream of mine to be able to curate contemporary performance for those incredible spaces.
The National Trust wants people to come and enjoy these special places, so it actually has thought that contemporary art is one way to invite people in and to get them to think about those places in a new way. We established Trust You Art, which is the National Trust Contemporary Arts Programme, and that's a commissioning organisation that invites artists to come and reinvigorate our special places with artists and artistic commissions. We were aware of IBT, they've just done great projects for many years, and it was an organisation that the National Trust and Trust New Art wanted to work with.
We approached them with an idea to open up 4 amazing houses at night for audiences to come in to experience a very special intimate concert and then curate performance, work, sound, light across the various rooms.
It became the flagship project for Trust New Art nationally, so we toured it to Barrington Court, to Osterley and to Nostell Priory, and it was the first time the National Trust had ever done a project of that scale and scope.
Sky boys fall in misery into trench-foot Icarus earth.
A musician was always at the heart of the Night Songs project, and I think that's when we settled quite early on the idea of Patrick Wolfe. And there's something about his courage, probably, as a musician that resonated with IBT. We were also a bit inspired by the National Trust, so we wanted to leave something behind, a kind of legacy. And so we came up with the idea of commissioning a song, and that's really where our journey with Patrick began.
For sale after the auction, privacy torn to shatter the ground.
Never in 10 years, and that's 5 albums, no one's ever asked me to write a song. I mean, I've been on record labels, they say, they say write an album or something like that, but one specific song is a different kind of thing. I write songs really from a very instinctive place, and if somebody asks me to do something, I generally do the opposite and don't do it.
We invited Patrick to come and actually be on site and be in residence here, which is the first time the National Trust has ever done anything like that with the musician. He really immersed himself in Tyntesfield.
The first visit, when there was the guided tour going on in front of me, I was 10 steps back, not talking to anyone with a book, and just writing down colours and the texture of wallpaper and the way the light was hitting in the room, and then the personal aspect, who it was going to be about. And I found this amazing William Gibbs character, who was the man that bought the whole place. He's the beginning of the whole beautiful story of Tyntesfield, I think. And he was a man who was born into bankruptcy and turned his life around through revolution, through so many intense moments. And so I just found I was really in love with this man.
It was a real delight to have Patrick on site because he was very colourful and he did spike lots of conversations across the property, and there was lots of whispers. It was a really good cultural change in a way.
Each time we did the performance, we gave a talk to the audience and told them a little bit about what their experience was going to be. And the general manager would always ask the question, who's been to this property before? It really surprised us because every time we asked that question, no more than 4 people put their hands up. So these people that came to Night Songs genuinely were new to the National Trust. And through further investigation, we also know they were new to contemporary art. Many of them don't go to see anything like this in their usual lives. They've come through being fans of Patrick Wolfe or being fans of popular music.
I've really enjoyed my audience finding my music at the end of an hour and a half or 2 hours of being challenged by something else, so it wasn't just going to the bar, or it wasn't just going to Nando's before. There's a very different element to the audience, a very different energy. It's been a bit intimidating. It's almost like they've been thinking a lot, and then you go on stage.
We know that we probably perplexed and challenged, but also from the vast majority of responses, people were really blown away by the experience, and also just the privilege of the invitation to go into these amazing spaces. One of the stewards, National Trust volunteers, actually said that they could imagine now, for the first time, having worked in that house for over 17 years, what it would have been like to live in their houses, because the original inhabitants would have experienced it with candlelight. And of course these houses are full of the stories of the people that lived there, and so I hope that we very subtly uncovered some of those stories.
What you have to realise about the National Trust is that it's pretty much 90% made out of volunteers, people offering their free time to houses, and that's been really humbling, I think, to see, you know, a lot of the places I've visited and stayed, there's somebody waiting from morning to night there for free because they love just even one room, and they kind of become the spokesperson for one room. People are really going out and protecting these places with their life. They become a part of the history, they volunteer themselves into the history of that room.
Trust New Art does work, it does bring in those new audiences, it does reinvigorate our special places. The audience that came to the Night Songs performance was a new type of audience, and it's the way that we want all of our special places to be enjoyed by everyone in the nation, so we all look after them forever.
Working with the National Trust has been challenging, definitely, but I kind of only entered into this project for it to be a challenge. I think I'm better matched to National Trust in between time than working with a major label. Everyone wants the same shared goal. At the end of it is to open things up and to create some magic. It's putting free time, putting something into just making the legacy continue and make it kind of flourish and turn into something new. So I've really enjoyed it, and I've also seen my audience being challenged and more of it, you know, more.